This might just be a little short one. I didn't get much sleep last night. Or rather, I did, but then I woke up super early for unknown reasons. So I realized that I was going to today. The plan was to get Flutter and Haskell to talk over gRPC, but I realized after checking my previous videos that I had already done that long ago. That's maybe one of the earlier coding videos. So assuming that updating Flutter and Dart don't break that, I'm going to assume that they can communicate. I looked a little bit into the configuration for gRPC web so that I can have a web app, and that doesn't look too bad. So I guess the best use of my time at this point is to try to implement one of these handlers. I don't know if I'm going to get all the way today, just because it might. I imagine it's going to take some doing to really to really work with the gRPC types. It's not just gRPC; it's also this particular port or wrapper of gRPC in Haskell, and I'm already noticing that I don't love the kind of verbosity of the RPC names, but I think there's nothing really I can do about that at this point. So I guess I'll just pick one of these that I know connects up with a database method, and we'll just try to implement it. So I guess maybe add article handler. It's going to get some server normal. I think normal in this case is supposed to be unary. It's going to get some unary RPC with some metadata. I don't know what underscore metadata is. If this is just like a empty metadata or something. But it, oh, no. This is an argument to a function, right? This is an implementation of a function. So metadata is an argument. I'm basically going to just ignore it. And then we have this do notation. We're just going to return this response. And right now we're returning unimplemented. And we have to do what? Well, we're going to return an article fetch job. So maybe this is not the first thing we should implement. Maybe the first thing we should implement is delete article. Because article handler has to do a couple of things. It has to insert the article, and then it has to create a fetch job and return the fetch job. And ideally, that would all be done in a transaction. I haven't done Haskell transactions yet. So let's look at this one. Right now, it's returning status unimplemented. This is different from my implementation of status. So I'll have to figure out some way to convert between the this status, which is the gRPC Haskell status. I think the company that makes it is this wrapper is called Awake Security or something along those lines. And delete article response, I think, is basically nothing, right? Okay, the other thing I have to keep in mind is that this proto message that I'm sending back, where is it? Let's just narrow it to region. This delete article response in the wait, what is it? Yeah, CXNN. Okay. These are different. It's a different proto implementation than ProtoLens. So in the testing and in the database, I've been using ProtoLens, but Awake Security has their own proto implementation. and I don't remember how to handle that. And that's about it. Maybe the thing that I want to do is start setting up a test suite so that I can do something like a test-driven approach to this. Otherwise, I'm going to end up like hacking stuff together in the main file, which won't be so pretty. So maybe I'll just set up a test and then go, and that'll be just like a little teensy bit of work, and then I'll be back tomorrow or possibly later today to do some real work. We'll see. So here's the tasty test file. Let's just copy this into here. We don't really need all of these things, although maybe we do want them. So I'll call these server tests. And we will just have one, I guess, a couple of test cases. And then the hard part will be figuring out how to run I'll have to figure out how to run the server in the test, which is something that I do want to do. I didn't want to do that for Postgres, but I do want to at least try to run the gRPC server, also run a gRPC client, which I guess means, now that I'm thinking about it, that I have to implement the client at the same time. So I called this main. Let's call this server. Let's rename this. And then we'll just take the same file and call it client. And that will have to be changed. I think these can coexist in the same directory. And then I had some server test, right? I can never decide whether I want the tests to be right under the thing they're testing, or if I want them all to be at the bottom. But I guess we'll do it this way. I probably will need all that stuff. Let's just try to build. I think is that supposed to be lowercase? I don't know. Okay, so while that's compiling, let's see if I can do something useful. So main shouldn't exist anymore, right? Okay, good. So I guess if I'm in this handler, then I already have a well-formatted request, right? In fact, I actually have the article ID itself. So I should be able to just leverage that. Do I have a delete article? I'm not even sure I have a delete article statement. I don't. So let's create one. Delete article.hs. We'll just copy this. And it's going to take in, well, we really want to just take an ID. Should be the same as update jobs. So the encoder is going to take just a int 32, I guess. Int 4 is what it's going to call it. And I guess no result. Int 32. Article ID. Something like that. Delete article. How does it go? The table is just called article. I think it's delete from, where ID equals maybe 0, 1. So somewhere I have a compilation window and it's still compiling. But this should more or less be almost correct. And I guess we might as well have to test it, right? We'll just have to add it to the Postgres tests. Postgres tests. And to the SQL file. Is that how I'm doing things? I guess I have the SQL file that I can import. What was it? I think it was an int32. Although I think I need to qualify that somehow. So then we call this delete on the article ID. We run with the connection, and then we say deleted. Something like that. All right. So I think that This is still building. I'm going to stop here and I'll be back later.